are trail bikes, the bread and butter of the mountain bike world. If you want a versatile all-rounder that can do just about everything, this is the place to find your ride. 2024 sees some hot new bikes hitting the market. Here's our top 5 trail bikes to look out for. Orbea's Occam has been around for a while now, but the latest version steps things up a notch. For 2024, it's split into 2 distinctive variants, the more pedalable 140mm travel Occam SL and the rowdier 150mm LT. Both share the same frame, with only the rear shock extender changing between them. This means, in theory, you can switch your SL to an LT and vice versa. Not only that, but the LT extender gains a flip chip to adjust the bike's geometry, while the SL's extender is fixed and made from carbon fibre to save weight. The LT is also compatible with coil shocks, with the range-topping M-Team coming with a Fox DHX coil as standard. SL bikes come with the brand's Squidlock remote lockout for the Fox float rear shock, aiming to give the bike maximum efficiency. Remotes like this are becoming less common on trail bikes, so we'd love to know what you think. Should more of them come with a remote lockout? Let us know in the comments. Another thing that's sure to divide opinion is the headset routed cables. We're not so pleased to see that, but we are pleased to see the integrated tools and internal frame storage. Only the carbon bikes are treated to the internal Lock-R frame storage, but all bikes get the M20 hidden multi-tool in the bike's linkage. Elsewhere, the frame retains its predecessor's asymmetric front triangle design and gets shorter seat tubes to accommodate dropper posts with up to 230mm of drop. The 2024 Occam range kicks off at £2,999 or $3,199 for the entry-level SL H30, topping out at £10,999 or $10,599 for the SLM Limited. The cheapest LT H30 is £3,499 or $3,599, while if you want the top-end LT model, you'll be shelling out £8,599 or the same in dollars for the LT-M-Team. The new Occam is definitely a bike to watch in 2024. Scor may not be a brand that springs to the front of your mind, but in a short time, its stylish Swiss bikes have won many fans. The new 2030 should see them gain even more. Ever wondered what would happen if you took the geometry of an enduro bike and applied them to a shorter travel trail bike? Well, wonder no more. With just 120mm of rear wheel travel but a slack 64.5° head angle to go with the 140mm travel fork up front, the 2030 is one of the slackest short travel trail bikes around. That front end is paired with a rangy 497mm reach on a size large. Chainstays vary depending on the size, the large getting short 432mm stays, while the bottom bracket is slung just 332mm from the deck. It's no surprise to hear one of Scor's engineers comes from a BMX background with playful numbers like that. If you want even more agile handling, the head angle can be steepened to 65.5° with the adjustable headset cups. The 2030 uses 2 co-rotating links to deliver its 120mm of rear wheel travel with the stock 47.5mm stroke shock. Or you can pump it up to 130mm with a longer 52.5mm unit. Onto the smaller details, and thankfully the gear and brake hoses are routed through the frame, and there's internal frame storage for storing all your waffles, croissants, donuts, or whatever baked goods you fancy. Or tools, a spare tube, and a mini bump if you want to be a bit more practical. Scor has recently lowered the price of the 2030, so it's now a little easier on your wallet. The range kicks off with the €4,999 or $5,199 NX build, and tops out at €7,999 or the same in dollars for the XO1 model. A frame set is available for €3,299 or $3,499, but our pick would be the €6,499 or $6,499 GX bike. Would you like to see a review of the 2030? Let us know in the comments. Armed with Commencal's new twin-link virtual contact system and a sturdy aluminium frame, the T.E.M.P.O is a trail bike for those who shun carbon. Built around 125mm of rear wheel travel with a 140mm fork, the T.E.M.P.O's frame has a low slung look to go with its comparatively low amount of suspension. The shock is hung under the top tube, making the pedal lever easy to access and leave tons of room for a water bottle, a must-have on a bike designed to be ridden all day. What's less of a must-have are the headset routed cables. They give a clean look, but can make maintenance a real headache. Do you think bike brands should ditch this ridiculous routing? Gather your pitchforks in the comments. Elsewhere, the T.E.M.P.O gets an accessory mount under the top tube, and all models get excellent Maxxis Minion DHR2 and dissector rubber. While Shimano and SRAM largely cover braking and drivetrain duties, and Fox and RockShox provide the bouncy bits, it's nice to see smaller brands T.R.P, represented with their brakes, and Öhlins suspension getting a look in on the excellently priced Öhlins edition. If you want to see what I think of T.R.P's latest endeavour, the new Evo 12 drivetrain, check out the video at the link above or in the description below. The T.E.M.P.O is available in a whopping 8 different models in some markets. Prices range from £3,150 or $3,200 up to £5,400 or $6,500, but it's that £4,700 or $5,000 Öhlins edition that would be our pick. With that plush Swedish gold suspension, T.R.P's excellent Trail Evo brakes, Crank Brothers Synthesis wheels with Industry 9 hubs, and a full SRAM GX drivetrain, it's one tasty trail shredding package. We have the T.E.M.P.O in for review, so stay tuned to hear our thoughts very soon. Kona's Process 111 was arguably one of the first popular short travel trail bikes, with a burly frame to go with its diminutive travel. But personally, I always wondered what it would be like with a bit more travel and a carbon frame. Well, finally I might have the answer. It's not a Kona, but it is the Rockrider Feel 900S. Sharing very similar lines to that trend-setting Kona, the Feel 900S stands out for its incredible value for money. The dispenser design looks distinctly close as well, though the Decathlon uses a horse link rather than a faux bar linkage-driven single pivot like the Process. A full suspension trail bike with a carbon frame and quality components from big name brands should be in excess of £5,000 if not £6,000 or euros, surely. The Feel 900S's price? A staggering £3,199 or €3,999 for the range-topping T model. That is incredible value for money. It's not just an impressive spec list hung off a generic frame though. The details seem very well thought out. The geometry is bang up to date with a 65-degree head angle, 475mm reach on a size large, a short seat tube for longer dropper posts, all to go with 130mm of rear wheel travel matched to that 140mm RockShox pike up front. With a claim weight of just 13.5 kilos, it could be the bargain trail bike of the year. There's also a cheaper base Feel 900S with a SRAM NX drivetrain and lower spec RockShox suspension and Mavic wheels for €2,999. But this model is sadly not currently available in the UK. What do you think of the Feel 900S? Hit us up with your thoughts in the comments. Lastly, we have a bike that we think should really be on your radar for 2024, Norco's stunning Fluid FSC. While sadly Norco will be disappearing from UK shores, for the rest of the world, the Fluid FS is an incredibly capable bike that packs a punch well beyond its numbers. Matching the rest of the bikes here with a 140mm fork to go with 130mm out back, the Fluid rides like it has more bounce, thanks to its supremely plush horse-link suspension. It isn't going to win any uphill sprints, but this bike is a true traction monster on technical terrain. The rear tyre claws into the ground, offering exceptional grip on technical pitches, yet has plenty of support on the way back down. It's a fun-loving bike that just loves to get airborne. On paper, the Fluid could be seen as a law of averages bike. The 65-degree head angle, 480mm reach and 76.7-degree seat angle are all middle-of-the-road numbers. The spec of our pick of the range, unsurprisingly the middle C2 model, is much the same. SRAM's mid-range GX takes care of drive, RockShox OE-only Select Plus Pike Fork and Super Deluxe Shock cover suspension duties, and even the brakes and wheels are mid-range offerings from SRAM and Stans respectively. All that though adds up to a bike that is anything but average on the trail. This is one of the most fun and capable bikes I've ever ridden. To boot, it looks great, handles incredibly well, and is decent value for money. If you want a true do-it-all trail bike that is equally happy out in the hills as it is strapped onto an uplift trailer, the Fluid FSC is definitely a bike that should be on your radar. To read our full review, check out the link in the description and watch our 2024 Headliner Bikes test with the card above. It may be missing some big names, but what do you think of the bikes we've selected to watch out for in 2024? Would you pick one of the proven performers over these newcomers? Let us know in the comments, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you want to see what gear our test team loved this year, then check out this video.